Welcome back to Trash Man MMA. It's yours truly, the Trash Man, and we're going over Oliveira versus Gamrot, bro. Fight just took place yesterday. Got off of work. Here I am. Oliveira versus Gamrot. I'm the best predictor on YouTube, bro. I am the best predictor on this app. Best MMA YouTube predictor, analyst, whatever you want to call it, bro. I went 11-1 on this card. I'm an absolute genius. I've made up for my last few weeks underperformances, man. Oh my gosh, I actually did better than Guru, Kenny, Bedtime, Lucas, Flucus, Che, if he even made a fucking prediction, bro. I did better than all of them, but bro, we're getting into this shit, dude. 11-1, bro. 11-1, and we're gonna get to that one. We're gonna fucking get to that one later in the video. But starting off, man, we're gonna start off with the opener of Luan Lacerda versus Simon Oliveira. I was at work. I did not watch this fight, but I heard that Luan Lacerda broke Simon Oliveira's arm with an armbar in the second round. Yeah, I mean, when fights like this happen, bro, Mr. 0-2 versus Mr. 0-3, go with 0-2, bro. Like, why are you gonna go with 0-3? He literally fights like a victim. He has the stance and the posture, and he takes punches like a victim. Luan Lacerda doesn't. He got the win. On to the next, Julia Palastri versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I don't know if this is the girl that who is Julia Palastri? I don't know who this is, to be honest. Is this the girl that, like, no, it's Bia Mesquita. Julia Palastri, she did it. I didn't watch this fight either, but yeah, I didn't watch this fight either. On to the next, Lucas Rocha versus Stuart Nickel. Now, I was actually tuning into this fight just a little bit, just a little bit. And I went with Lucas Rocha because even though Stuart Nickel, he's that Australian archetype of fighter, that Volkanovski, JDM type, X's and O's kind of guy. I thought Lucas Rocha had too much experience, even being 5 years younger. He had more than he had double of Stuart Nichols' fights, and I just think experience like that is too much to overcome, even if you're Mr. X's and O's. And honestly, he gets it done at times. Lucas Rocha is just kind of breaking Stuart Nickel. Stuart Nickel, all he has is like, oh, let me go for a takedown, and Lucas Rocha's like, takedown? You're entering my world. And then he would just flip him. Like, it was embarrassing at times, the shots that Stuart Nickel was, like, desperately trying to get. And Stuart Nickel was seeing them and just like, bro, like, that's your one game plan, and I'm dominating you in it. It was kind of embarrassing to see for Stuart Nickel, but Lucas Rocha, he gets it done, man. Masterful, I believe 30-27. So good job, Lucas Rocha, got that pick. On to the next, Bia Mesquita. Sorry, I just out of fucking nowhere, I got a fucking stuffy nose, bro. It's actually like bullshit. Bia Mesquita versus Irina Alekseeva. I didn't watch this fight. No, wait, I did. She got a rear naked choke, I believe, right? She got a rear naked choke. Bia Mesquita, you can't have her on your back, bro. And Irina Alekseeva, I believe she's 5-4 now in the UFC for some reason. Bia Mesquita is now 6-0. Kick Irina Alekseeva. What is she doing in the UFC, bro? She almost get a heart attack when she took off her short shirt at the fucking ceremonial wave-in. That as like my heart dropped. Get her out of here. Bia Mesquita. Her striking doesn't look bad either. Looks pretty decent. But obviously everybody knows her for the fucking grappling. She's I ain't gonna say what I'm gonna say, but Bia Mesquita, she alright. She alright. We'll see how she does in the future. Like honestly, there's nothing really to take away from this fight. Like, cool, you submitted an unranked bantamweight fighter, an unranked women's bantamweight fighter, probably the worst fighters in the UFC. And from that pool of the worst fighters, you took the worst of the worst, Irina Alekseeva. So we'll see how Bia Mesquita looks in her next fight. On to the next fight. Victor Petrino versus Thomas Peterson. Now, in my prediction video, I said, I don't know why everybody's actually acting like, I don't know why everybody's going through the X's and O's and the Thomas Peterson grappling exchanges and the Victor Petrino getting the underhooks and the, you know, I didn't get why people were going through all that. I see why now. I see why. Victor Petrino is certified ass. Victor Petrino is so fucking bad. It's actually insane. He's over here talking about, I be world champ. I world champ. Bro, you gassed out in the second, dog. You gassed out against a fat Thomas Peterson while Thomas Peterson was actually looking pretty fucking good. Not like fucking a world beater or anything, but it's like Thomas Peterson wasn't looking like no slouch out there. He actually came in. Victor Petrino won this first, I believe, and I feel like Thomas Peterson maybe could have narrowly took the second. It was hard to remember, but I feel like it was a very competitive second round. Could have gone either way, and then the third round has started, and just all of a sudden Victor Petrino turns into fucking Malcolm Wellmaker. You know, just hits that fucking right hook, bah, sleeps. It was literally a Malcolm Wellmaker type of KO. Right hook, right on the chin, bop. Thomas Peterson drops to his knee first, does like a scorpion. His entire back curves, and then he like hits the floor with his back, his chin looking up at the air, his knees on the floor, and then he like whiplashes himself onto whiplashes his own head onto the canvas. A brutal knockout from Victor Petrino. This kid is fucking dog shit. This kid is dog shit. I do not fuck with this guy whatsoever, man. I hate Victor Petrino to the day I die. I fucking hate this guy. And you know, this is not top 15, top 20, top 25 worthy, man. I have a fights to make video coming out tomorrow at 12 o'clock, so stay tuned for that one. You'll see who I'm matching up with him next to see him get brutally fucking slept. So Victor Petrino got it done in the third round. I also got that pick. Rafael Fialho versus Clayton Carpenter. I believe Clayton Carpenter was the slight favorite heading into this fight. People saw that he had a decent showing against... Fuck, my nose, man. Literally haven't had a fucking stuffy nose in ages, and then all of a sudden, here it is. Rafael Fialho versus Clayton Carpenter. I believe Clayton Carpenter was the favorite because of that close, or like relatively like decent fight he had with the... what's his name? You guys know the guy. You guys know the flyweight guy. What's his name? The flyweight fucking Dagestani guy, man. I forgot his fucking name. But that guy. And Rafael Fialho, you know, he hasn't had like, I believe he was coming off of a loss, but you know, he's actually looked pretty good. He had a win over Ode Osborne and some other guy that I can't really remember, but two decent wins in both submissions, and I just felt Clayton Carpenter, yeah, cool. You had a 3-round decision with oh my goodness, not being able to remember this guy's name is going to drive me absolutely insane. I can't remember this kid's name for the life of me, but I just thought he was going to get it done, man. Two different levels of experience. Rafael Fialho is a dangerous finisher. Clayton Carpenter has... I don't think Clayton Carpenter has the ability to finish, but more so the ability to not be finished, which is, you know, whatever, you know. And even then, we see that, you know, that's not really the case. Tagir Ulianbekov was the guy I was trying to think of, but yeah, he submits him in the first round with the Kimura, nasty looking Kimura as well. I don't know how he didn't fucking tap sooner, but he got it. I believe it was a verbal tap as well. I don't remember seeing Clayton Carpenter's hand really tap on Rafael Fialho. I believe it was a verbal tap. But Rafael Fialho, man, gets it done, looking dangerous. Make that 3 wins in the UFC, 3 submissions. Clayton Carpenter, Ode Osborne, and Daniel Barres. Only losses being to Alan Nascimento and Mohamed Mokaev, man. This kid's looking pretty good, bro. This kid's looking pretty good. Stay tuned, man. On to the next. Lucas Almeida versus Michael Aswell. Now, everybody and their moms was picking Lucas Almeida even before it came out to show that his hand was broken. I don't remember when I picked Michael Aswell. I believe I didn't see that yet, and I believe I still picked him. But either way, doesn't really matter. Lucas Almeida was like, oh shit, bro. I'm like fucking, I'm like 1-4. I'm like 1-3 in the UFC, man. I gotta get a win right now. And he goes out there just to get KO'd in the first round, which goes to show how bad is Danny Silva. You know what I'm saying? How bad is Danny Silva? Danny Silva took this guy to fucking split decision. Granted, he didn't have a fucking broken hand, but I mean, even without the broken hand, I don't know how well Lucas Almeida would have ever done against Michael Aswell. I saw Lucas Almeida got finished by fucking Andre Philly and Pat Sabatini. So just seeing any sort of well-rounded fighter in Michael Aswell come in here training with fucking Joshua Van, it's like, I don't know, in my opinion, it was just like a fucking surefire layup. Like, this motherfucker got finished by Andre Philly and Pat Sabatini. Let's come on, let's fucking lock in here. So he's 2-4 in the UFC. Michael Aswell making his debut. I didn't even know that he was taking this fight on short notice, which I guess why people weren't picking him, but took this fight on short notice, man. Hey, GG Michael Aswell, looking good, training with fucking Joshua Van. Can't wait to see more of this guy. Got that pick right as well. Ricardo Ramos versus Con Ofley. Another underdog pick for me, man. Another underdog. Ricardo Ramos came in here thinking he was hot shit. So did everybody else. Everybody was like, oh, Ricardo Ramos, bro. This dog is fucking shit. I don't know why he was the favorite. I don't understand the odds on these. Ricardo Ramos is fucking terrible. With this loss, he has lost 4 out of his last 5, with his only win being a split decision win to Josh fucking Kulibao. Like, are we seriously taking this guy any form of, like, serious? Daniel Chavez, cool, bro. Nobody knows who that fucking guy is, bro. That guy got cut like fucking 30 years ago. And that's your other win. Danny Chavez and Josh Kulibao. Nah, bro. I wasn't rating that shit at whatsoever. Con Ofley, yeah, he got chinned by Myron Santos. Yeah, he dropped the ball to Muhammad Naimov. But Muhammad Naimov, that's a decent opponent. Myron Santos, bar that one performance where he had an absolute bore of a fight, is a really good fighter. And I think Con Ofley is, in his own right, a really decent fighter. So I just thought this one was easy 9 times out of 10. Although he was in trouble. He almost got submitted like 2-3 times. Like this round started, I immediately was like, oh fuck. I was like, oh shit, why did I go Con Ofley? I was immediately like, no, bro. I completely folded. This is when I believe this was the first fight on the main card as well. And I was like, this is where I get every fucking fight on the main card wrong. This is where I go like 0-6 on the main card, and I just like throw my prediction rate. But Con Ofley, he fucking goes through the fire, man. He gets on Ricardo Ramos's back on the cage, just like Charles Oliveira did Gamrot. Just sinks up that rear naked choke, man. Makes Ricardo Ramos tab, bro. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful masterpiece, man. Love to see it. On to the next, man. I got that pick right, by the way. On to the next pick. Jonathan Deniz versus Mario Pinto. Why did it click on his face? I hate this picture, bro. He looks so stupid. But Jonathan Deniz versus Mario Pinto. I know a lot of people were picking Jonathan Deniz. He's really good. Before this, his only loss in the UFC was to Marcin Tybura, I believe. Really good. But Mario Pinto, I just thought he was a little different. And I honestly had no idea about his grappling. I didn't know he was from the UK. I knew nothing about him. The only reason I picked Mario Pinto to win this fight was I saw Jonathan Deniz, a supposed glory kickboxing champion, lose to a jiu-jitsu nerd who had been training jiu-jitsu for 2-3 years. And you're taking this random heavyweight fat ass who trains jiu-jitsu to a close decision in the third, where the strikes are even in the first and second. Jonathan Deniz isn't all that on the feet, and that's why I picked Mario Pinto. I thought Mario Pinto would have knocked him out And, well, I guess he technically did. I didn't see it in this fashion. I thought it would be on the feet knockout. But Mario Pinto has proven himself to be an insane heavyweight prospect. And this isn't like all your others, right? A fat fuck on the fucking Contender Series wins a fight, and every MMA YouTuber and their moms is like, oh, he's a contender. He's future champ, future champ. No, Mario Pinto is actually top 5 worthy. Not yet. Obviously, not yet. We don't want to we don't want to throw this guy up the rankings, that tends to not work out 9 out of 10 times unless your name is Ante Delija. But Mario Pinto, I believe if he is on the right trajectory, doesn't get tossed too far up too quick, I believe he can make it to the top 5. And I believe we can see this guy maybe fight for a belt. And I don't want to say that, but I'm just saying this guy's top 5, top 10 worthy easy. Jonathan Deniz, I think he'll be lucky if he cracks the 15. I don't think he'll. I think maybe he could crack the 9, 9-8, but top 5, I don't see. I don't ever see that being a reality for him in his future. Mario Pinto, man, absolutely dominated Jonathan Deniz in the grappling. Almost had a Kimura. Dude, I swear he had that Kimura, but Jonathan Deniz just didn't want to tap. I swear. That Kimura looked so deep. That looked deeper than the fuck, sorry man. Like I said, my fucking feeling sick right now, bro. His Kimura looked 10 times deeper than the Fialho Kimura that he had over Carpenter. I don't know how Jonathan Deniz didn't tap. I don't know why he didn't tap. That shit looked wickedly like close. Props to him for not tapping up and not giving up. But Mario Pinto just laid on too much ground and pound, way too frequently. And honestly, the ref could have stepped in a whole lot sooner. It was just like, I don't know. It was damn near just 10 minutes of like a brutal beat down by Mario Pinto. The takedown he got in round 1 as well was fucking masterful. It was beautiful. It was amazing. Mario Pinto is definitely a problem at heavyweight, man. Keep your eye out on this kid. On to the next. Vicente Luque versus Joe Alvarez. Now, in hindsight's 2020, as they say. In hindsight, we probably should have seen this coming. Just realistically, just looking at like take the two fighters out of the equation. Look at it from a just regular person's perspective. Joe Alvarez taking this fight on short notice up a weight class. I just think that we should have kind of known that his power might not have translated right away. We should have known that maybe he didn't have that much pressure to give, that much gas to step on. And Vicente Luque, even though what his recent careers looked like, he is a tough out. But I think we all just banked on Joe Alvarez 100% finish rate. But I think this one time, it's actually okay for Joe Alvarez to go to decision. No matter how boring it was, no matter how long we had to watch Joe Alvarez sit on Luque's head just in fucking reverse 69 position, bro. No matter how boring it was, Joe Alvarez went in there and he took the opportunity and he did whatever it took to win. He didn't put himself in the fire all too much, although at the times he did, he was getting kind of cracked, Like he does leave his hands down a lot and he was getting popped by some hooks by Luque. And at times it was worrying. I never thought he was going to get KO'd, but I do think keeping your hands that low with a more dangerous opponent than Luque, which there are plenty in the welterweight division, leaving your hands down like that, that's a recipe for disaster. That's like the fucking Korean Zombie Jr. versus that other guy that he was going up against. I forgot the something Santos. Daniel Santos probably was his name, something basic like that. Yeah, from last week's card. Very dangerous though. Joe Alvarez is, but he couldn't get the finish on Vicente Luque. Although he should have in that first round. But again, you can't blame Luque for that. Can't blame Luque for that. You have to blame the refs. Luque goes in with the left hook, doesn't turn the fist all the way over. He kind of, which is something that it's actually so surprising how often UFC fighters never turn their fists like over properly. It's actually that like, does anybody else find that crazy? Like you're a professional fighter, and you like 9 times out of 10 you're just like winging punches, and you can't actually connect with like the proper knuckles, like the way a punch is supposed to land. Like no wonder these motherfuckers break their hand 10 out of 10 times. Like they can't land a fucking punch right. Joe Alvarez throws like a hook, but he doesn't turn his fist over, so he lands with the thumb knuckle directly in Vicente Luque's eye, and honestly causes some damage because when they're about to restart the fight, you see the damage in Luque's eye, so you can't really blame him for being like, I just got poked in the eye. You have to blame the ref for seeing that it was a legal blow, for seeing that it was the knuckle, for seeing that the fingers were not extended, and being like, hey man, bring him in a wet towel, man. Hey Luque, you alright, bro? Luque, you good, man? It's like, bro, I don't know. They're in fucking Brazil. Joe Alvarez, obviously they're gonna give it the benefit of the doubt to Vicente Luque, which they did. But Joe Alvarez, dominant fight. Got a 10-8 in the second. Had to have, or the second or the third, I forgot. But as you see on just the total strikes, like no round was really close. I believe the first round was the closest with the Luque actually landing some decent shots, but every other round, even this third round, was extremely clear in my eyes for Joe Alvarez. On to the next, the co-main event, man. Now, up until this point, I went 10-0 on this card. 10-0. I was riding a high unlike any other. I was confident I was going to go 12-0. I was confident I was going to sweep this card, get on here, and talk my shit. But Montel Jackson, dead ass, came into this fight, said, nah, bro. I want to stare at you for 15 minutes and not throw a single punch. Montel Jackson, what are you doing, bro? This was the most insane performance I've ever seen a fighter give. I did it. After the first round, I was like, oh, Davison Figueiredo won. I just walked away from the TV because, like, not only is Montel Jackson simply circling around and fainting, bro was Izzy maxing out there. And it was Izzy maxing to a lesser extent because he wasn't even throwing low kicks. He was just praying that the 1-2 would land. And it's like, all right, Montel Jackson. So we're 3 minutes into the fight. We know the 1-2 is not going to work. Do you have anything else for us, Montel Jackson? And he had nothing else. He was like, well, I have a 2. It's like, Montel Jackson, we need more than a 2, brother. We need more than a 2. But he just simply could not give us anything else. He was lost in the grappling exchanges. When he would lunge for that 1-2, he would basically just be giving Davison Figueiredo the takedown. I feel like Davison Figueiredo, though, wasn't strong enough to capitalize on some of those opportunities that Montel Jackson gave him. I feel like he's a little bit weak, or Montel Jackson is just a big dude, kind of hard to take down. So Davison Figueiredo couldn't necessarily really capitalize, but the times that he did, man, he would just pick up Montel, dunk him on the floor, and it was kind of just like rinse and repeat, or more so rinse and repeat, just trying his best to do more of that. So the first round was close. Even strikes, but Davison Figueiredo got the takedown and the control time. And Montel Jackson, the visuals weren't good as well. At the end of the round, Davison Figueiredo, I can't remember if he landed a left or a right, though. Good hook. Kind of sent Montel Jackson on stumbly legs, or like he just didn't have his really feet underneath him. So definitely the most impactful shot of the round. In the second round, people say that this was split and that this was controversial and that you could have given it to Jackson. I don't care. Much like the Patchy Mix and Jacob Wiklak fight, I don't care how close it was. on paper, on statistics, on strikes. Montel Jackson simply did not do enough. He didn't. He didn't. And you could say he landed double his strikes. I'm sorry, bro. You landed 14 strikes in 5 minutes. That's less. Like that's less. Like I don't. That's less than 3 strikes per minute. I'm sorry, bro. You can't have like 1 strike per 10 seconds for me, dude. Literally, like any more amount of output would have won Montel Jackson this fight, but he just refused to step in the fire. He refused to pull the trigger. He refused to let his hands go. He refused to fight. I saw a sparring session. I did not. This was not a fight whatsoever to me. This was dead ass a sparring session. Montel Jackson, this was his time to break out and have that breakout performance and show everybody who he is and show everybody that he deserved to go on that 6-fight win streak. But this was just an embarrassing performance from Montel. Embarrassing. I believe he won the 3rd round, but even then, it's a close round. 8-8 on significant strikes that he barely got with the takedown. I don't know. Montel Jackson really let me down with this one, and I don't know if I could ever pick this guy to go up against like just a shorter grappler. Like I don't know. Like the quickness just wasn't there, and he was running into double leg takedowns by Figueiredo. Embarrassing performance by Montel Jackson, honestly. On to the main event. Charlie, do Bronx é tur Brasil, Charlie. Charles Oliveira gets it done against Mateus Gamrot, bro. I wish I rewatched this fight before making this video, but I didn't. But I don't need to. Mateus Gamrot, like 5 seconds into the fight, we're gonna get into the breakdown immediately. Mateus Gamrot in the fight immediately goes for the double leg takedown on Charles Oliveira with his head on the outside, worrying because Charles Oliveira immediately tries to go for a guillotine. Doesn't ever really have it, but he's threatening something there. And then just the grappling exchanges. I feel like Mateus Gamrot kind of a scummy that he kind of took this fight. I feel like he saw, okay, I saw what Armin did to him, saw what Islam did to him. I could do that too. I feel like that's what he was thinking, but the grappling was too much, man. I feel like Charles Oliveira somehow is more dangerous off of his back now than ever, especially being in Brazil. Dude, being 18-0 in fucking Brazil is absolutely insane. 6-0 in the UFC, now 7-0. This guy's being in Brazil is genuinely like a Dragon Ball Z power up for a fucking Oliveira. It's like he's eating sensu beans at all point in times. Like he can never get hurt, although he did look iffy at times. His grappling off his back is next level, proven in this fight once again. Like we already didn't know, but I feel like we forgot in recent times. We've seen Chandler kind of control him a little bit. We've seen Charles Oliveira get stalemated, but this was peak prime, not prime, but peak Oliveira off of his back, and Mateus Gamrot just couldn't keep up. It's not like he didn't have answers, because he had answers. He was just always a step behind, always a step behind. Charles Oliveira was always there, always ready to go, but Mateus Gamrot too slow, not really, not there. He just wasn't there in time, and Charles Oliveira was always there, and into the second round, I thought that Mateus Gamrot was, I think it was clear after Mateus Gamrot got out grappled and lost the first round very decisively after getting controlled the whole time. I think he kind of knew. He was like, okay, I gotta stand on the feet just a little bit more. And he had a lot of success. He was tagging Oliveira, and Oliveira was going a little jelly-legged. Like, I know it's crazy to think that Mateus' fucking pillow hands, was hurting Charles Oliveira, but that KO 2.5 months ago was still in Charles Oliveira's head. It's still there, and it's still rattling his brain around. That jelly in there still ain't all there. And the shots, the hooks that Mateus Gamrot's landing, some of them narrowly landing, nearly missing. If those had landed, I feel like we're having a whole different conversation right now. But Mateus Gamrot was hurting Charles Oliveira bad. Uh, Charles Oliveira, I believe he initiated the grappling exchange in this second round. Pressed Mateus Gamrot up against the fence, circled to his back, got the hooks in, or got the body triangle in, and just started working that rear naked choke. And at first, it was never really there. And then Oliveira just said, fuck it, we're on the ground now. You can't get up. You're nowhere near the fence. I'm going to get that shit off on you, little bro. And he just tightened up those forearms, cranking right on the neck of Mateus Gamrot. Forced him to tap. Didn't give him any option. I feel like Mateus Gamrot went out a little bit. Just seeing how his body kind of went limp after he kind of tapped. Like, after Charles Oliveira let go, his body kind of went limp and kind of just like extended a little bit. I feel like he did go out, but you know, he kind of waited to the last second to tap. So much respect for Mateus Gamrot for going out last second, tapping out last second, flying across the world from Poland to America, then to America to Brazil to take on somebody who was, to take on essentially the number 2 contender. Big ups for Mateus Gamrot. He rolled the dice, came up a little short, and sad to see. You know, I think I'm becoming a little bit of a Charles Oliveira hater. A little bit of a Charles Oliveira, because after the fight was over, you know, I was like, immediately, bro, I can't even lie to you, bro, immediately, I was like, yeah, bro, whatever, bro, he took the fight on short notice, bro. Whatever, bro, you got slept 3 months ago, bro, whatever. They're like, cool, bro, you beat Gamer. Like, I was hating immediately, calling out Max Holloway immediately. I was like, bro, Max Holloway's sleeping, yo, bitch, bro. Like, Max Holloway's, Max Holloway's putting hands on this boy, no lie. I feel like maybe the grappling, right? We haven't really seen Max Holloway's grappling get tested like that. Never to the level of this. So that is definitely something that we'd have to take into consideration. But I think overall Max Holloway fucking sucks. I think Max Holloway puts the fucking beats on this boy, no lie. But overall, it was a great card, man. I went 11-1. Super stoked to have Charles Oliveira back in the win column. Super stoked to go 11-1. Be the best predictor on the MMA YouTube. Once again, solidify my spot. And yeah, man, got the Oliveira pick. I lost Davison and Montel Jackson pick. Got the Alvarez pick. Got the Pinto pick. Got the Ofli pick. Got the Oswald pick. Got the Fialho pick. Got the Petrino pick. Got the Mesquite pick. Got the Rocha pick. Got the Polastri pick, man. Got the Lacerda pick, dude. 11-1. I'm a beast. I'm a predator. I'm different, man. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And yeah, man, stay tuned. I'm dropping a video, all fights to make next tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So stay tuned. Lock in. All right. Deuces. Peace.